In Mass Effect 2, Shepard gets sent by the Council to investigate Geth activity around the galaxy. During a routine patrol, the Normandy gets ambushed by a collector ship that proceeds to slice our beloved Normandy into bits, and before Shepard can escape, she gets blown out into the vacuum of space and chokes in agony from the lack of oxygen, as our beloved commander crashes towards a nearby planet. How's it going, guys? Mr. Holton here, and today we're going to do another what if scenario. And today I want to explore what the Milky Way galaxy could have looked like if the commander straight up never got successfully resurrected by Cerberus. But before we go any further, I'd love it if we could at least get this video to 1200 likes. Thank you so much. Alright, so I have to mention one thing here. Yes, it is possible for Shepard to die during the suicide mission to the Collector base. But we all know what happens if Shepard dies here. And that is literally nothing. The only thing that happens is that you cannot import your save to Mass Effect 3. But let's, for the sake of this video, say that Shepard stayed dead after having crashed on that one planet. What would have changed? To answer this, we also have to ask whether the elusive man would still try to resurrect Shepard through the Lazarus Project. Let's say that he did, and Miranda was still in charge of resurrecting Shepard. But instead of succeeding in rebuilding the commander, this time the Lazarus Project fails. Shepard's cells never get revitalized, the broken bones won't heal, and the synthetic parts just keep failing. And so, Miranda gives up. What then? Well, let's not forget about the Cerberus backup plan, because from Shepard's dead body, Cerberus had managed to create clones in case Shepard would have needed another arm or a leg. So, well, that solves everything, right? The clone is perfect leadership material, right? No. Despite my recent Mass Effect 4 theory about the clone returning, we learned during the Citadel DLC in Mass Effect 3 that the clone is pretty unhinged. Sure, maybe things would have changed if the real Shepard hadn't been alive, but I doubt it. It was pretty apparent that the clone didn't want anything to do with the Reaper War, so I doubt that he or she would have taken up the mantle. Besides, the clone missed something that makes the real Shepard great. His or her emotional ties to events and experiences. Supposedly, the clone had all the memories of Shepard, but didn't care for it, which we see during his or her interactions with your squad mates.
Like you, Talizora Vas Normandy. I'm not sure whether to kill you with a bullet, or just take off your helmet and cough.
You're just a cheap imitation of the real thing.
I'm the real thing, perfected.
So if the clone isn't the solution, then what is? Well, to be honest with you, I'm not sure there even is a candidate that could have produced the same results as Shepard, as unfortunate as it is. Let's start with the Collectors. We know that if Shepard and the Normandy SR2 crew hadn't stepped in to stop them, they would still be kidnapping entire human colonies. And why they did this was, of course, in order to build a human Reaper by use of genetic goo. But wait a moment, I hear you say. Wouldn't the Vermeer survivor step up to the job? Yeah, about that. You see, the problem is that the Vermeer survivor, that being either Ashley or Kaidan, would be visiting Horizon during the Collector attack. As we all saw, the Vermeer survivor got stung by the Collector's Seeker Swarms, and so Ashley/Kaidan became paralyzed and wouldn't have been able to stop the Collectors from kidnapping the colony. Heck, as the Vermeer survivor would be a victim here just like everyone else, it wouldn't be long before Ash or Kaidan would become the equivalent of a Reaper slushie. Well, that's not good. Nope, it really isn't. But what about Liara? Unfortunately, our lovely blue babe was stuck back on Ilium, trying to track down the Shadow Broker. Okay, then what about Miranda? Jacob? Well, Miranda could have been a possibility, but the unfortunate reality here is that she could never have dealt with putting together the new crew by herself. As we saw with her attitude towards Jack, there's just no way that the squad would have followed her into battle. And then there's Jacob. What about the Joker? We see him talking to the elusive man at the end of Mass Effect 2 if everyone including Shepard dies on the Collector base. Well, just like our lovely pilot says after the Collector ship kidnaps the Normandy crew, what's he gonna do? Throw his arm at the Reapers?
Don't even get me started about unshackling a damned AI.
Well, what can I do against collectors? Break my arm at them?
Joker is a great pilot, but a commander? Nah. Okay, so if none of these would take up the mantle to fight the collectors, wouldn't anyone from the old squad do it? Unfortunately not, no. You see, basically every single one of your squad mates is preoccupied with something else. Garrus is an Omega, dealing with gangs and crime bosses. Rex is the king of Tuchanka and has to sit on his throne all day. Tali is with her people, investigating Haystrom's son. There is literally no one that has the collector attacks in mind, except for the elusive man. And we know that we can't trust him in the end, because the closer the Reapers got to the Milky Way, the more he became corrupted. So what am I saying here? Well, as we can see already, the collectors would by a chance of 99.99% be able to complete their Human Reaper project. Human colonies all over the galaxy would be empty, and the Alliance and the Council wouldn't have looked into it until it was too late. The completed Human Reaper would be at least as powerful as its other brethren, and it could possibly have been a flagship that could have led a collector attack on the Citadel. And we know how powerful the collector vessels were, so several of them, including a Reaper, would spell catastrophe for the Council. Let's not forget that the Geth heretics still would have had their huge base up and running, so the Human Reaper would by no doubt make its way over to them and corrupt them, just like we saw the Reapers do in Mass Effect 3. But would it be enough to invade the Citadel a second time? We know that the Council had bolstered security in and around the Citadel, so another direct attack from a lone Reaper would probably not work. Together with a rebuilt fleet of Geth heretics though, I'd say that the Human Reaper would have a chance, together with a few collector ships, that is. But here's also something else. The Alpha Relay. Yes, I know, even if Shepard doesn't take on the mission to destroy the Alpha Relay, Hackett sends a team that successfully destroys the relay, but they lose their lives in the process. But here's the thing, if the Human Reaper had retaken the Geth heretics, it would surely send a force to the relay to guard it. Heck, it could even send a collector vessel, which is something we know that most ships in the Alliance wouldn't be able to destroy. If the Human Reaper would have succeeded in guarding the Alpha Relay from being destroyed, then, well, as we see in the cutscene when the arrival timer goes to 0, it would be game over, man. Game over. What I'm essentially saying here is that without Shepard, the galaxy would just be so screwed. I've thought about every possible scenario where the galaxy could have been able to survive the coming Reaper invasion without the Commander, but there's just no way. Commander Shepard is just that important to the overall story and Mass Effect. There are just too many events that Shepard is involved with where it changes the course of galactic history. The reason why no one could take up the mantle after Shepard is because Shepard is literally a beacon for the story. Everyone gathers around Shepard, and just like the name Shepard implies, the Commander leads the way for the entire galaxy. Without Shepard's presence, your squad mates lose their way, and give in to their worst sides. And even if the Alpha Relay would have been destroyed and the Human Reaper would have been stopped, important events like curing the Genophage or making peace between the Geth and the Quarians are impossible without Shepard. Not to mention the plans for the Crucible probably would never have been found. And if Shepard hadn't arrived in time to help Liara on Mars, our beloved blue Asari babe would have either failed to obtain the plans or worse yet, died. The Krogan queen, Eve, would never have been saved, and so Mordin wouldn't have been able to synthesize a cure. The Quarian admiral, Zal Koris, would be dead after crashing on Rannoch, so peace between the Geth and the Quarians wouldn't even be on the table. The Geth would have been corrupted by the Reapers completely, and the Quarians would go extinct. The Commander is the linchpin to the entire story, and if the linchpin is removed, everything falls apart. Just like the galaxy would, if Shepard would have stayed dead in Mass Effect 2. But I want to hear what you guys think. Do you think that someone else could have taken up the mantle? If so, who and how? I also want to thank all my Ensven squad members for supporting the channel. You guys are amazing. As always, have a great day guys. Mr. Holton signing out.